Hey guys, welcome back. I want to fix the wood on this cabinet. Now, we're not going for show quality restoration here, okay? He just wants it to be sturdy. He's gonna fix it. So, we're not going crazy with it, okay? Obviously, we have some issues. This bottom, he didn't want me to replace, but it's pretty bad. We're gonna put a new piece of wood there. I don't think I have a piece of wood long enough to do it all in one piece, so I might have to put a seam in it, but that's not a big deal. If I do put a seam in it, I'll put a brace and it'll look just fine. So I wanna put a new bottom on it. I need to replace this piece here. As you can see, it is completely rotted. This slips into a groove. I don't think I'll be able to make a groove again because I won't be able to get it together. And then we're missing wood here, okay? And with that, haven't figured out what I'm gonna do yet because it needs to be there because there's a groove here for the glass to slide in. So what I might do is take plexiglass and stick it in here and use that as my guide and then put fiberglass, short strand fiberglass on there. And then I can remove the piece of plexiglass and the groove will still be there. I can always router it if I need to, but it would probably be easier to just use the fiberglass. I'm gonna have to peel back the T-molding. It's actually, the T-molding's in good shape. So I think I'm just gonna peel it back and he can put it back on, or I could put it back on after. He could put it back on afterwards. I'm gonna save it for him in case he wants to reuse it, because really, honestly, it'll probably clean up decent. Unless he has new, I don't know. But obviously I gotta get it out of my way enough to fix it. And this side's fine, it's just that side that's screwed up. So I gotta fix this, and the bottom of the cabinet. Let me go grab a pry bar and see if we can't, and a hammer, and work on getting the bottom of this cabinet off. I don't think this is into a groove. We'll have to make some new angle pieces here, but that's not a big deal either. I just can't tell if it's, I think it is in a groove. So I think I might have to do is cut it and then pop it out. And then the new one won't go in the groove, but we'll make some blocking to hold it. Not a big deal. There is a transformer on the bottom that I need to remove. And a couple wires and stuff like that. Nothing super huge. So maybe I'll lay this flat and get that done first. Like I said, we're not going crazy on it. We're not building a showpiece pinball game here. Whatever you call this thing, redemption style game, I don't even know. So before I grab a pry bar and stuff, I need to pop off this guy. And then there's just a couple wires that are screwed down. A couple things that are screwed down. Nothing big. And then we'll pop out that bottom. Just looking here to see if there's, oh yeah, this bottom brace is shot too. So we'll replace that brace with this one. It really took on a lot of water at some point. A lot of water. So let me grab a drill. Actually, I probably should use my socket set here. I don't think this is going to be very hard to take apart. I'm not going to take the harness out of the cabinet all the way. I'm just taking the screws out that hold the harness to the bottom of the cabinet. Okay, this must be the flux capacitor. I have no idea what that is. I've never seen something like that before. I don't know what that is. got this guy here. I think there's a couple more straps I gotta get out up there still. These must have, I wonder if these are like a carriage bolt. Feels like they are. So probably just have to cut those off and then I'll just put new bolts in. I have tons and tons of bolts. We got a couple metal guides here. Those can stay on for now because then I could just measure and put them back in the same spot. Amazing what water does to plywood. Just freaking destroys it. You think particle board's bad? I mean, plywood's just as bad once it gets water like this. So this is what we got to remake. Just makes you wonder when you see stuff like that, like how long was it wet for? Okay. I think they're all disconnected minus the power brick there. And like I said, I'm gonna have to cut those bolts off because they're screwed. They're rusty bad. We've got some separation going on in here too, but don't really, I might be able to put some wood glue in there and clamp it. Yep, they're carriage bolts, just like I thought. So let me think here. Do I want to? I think I'm gonna cut it with my saw and then cut the bolts off afterwards. Just gotta make sure I don't hit any wires. Grab a couple tools. Around the wires now. Okay. Okay, it is in the side, so I'm gonna have to cut around the whole cabinet. I'm gonna have to get a new blade, and we'll fast forward or high speed this. Okay, I'm glad I took that bottom out. It was really bad, actually. It didn't take that long. It took me like probably 15 minutes to cut it out. Not that bad, really. Before the new bottom goes in, I gotta measure where those are, and we're gonna put those, mount those inside the cabinet. We gotta make a lower brace. Really not much to do. Once we get the bottom fixed, we just gotta fix that top rail up, and that'll be it. So let me figure out what I need to do next. All right, now I got to get some wood cut. I found a couple tokens in the cabinet, and I don't know where the hell I just put them. I just had them. Oh, here they are. I wanted to see if they said anything on them, because they're like completely corroded. We can wire wheel them real quick, see if they say anything. So if you ever find old tokens and stuff, you can clean them up with a wire wheel. This one says no cash value. It just says leaps and bounds. Let's see what this other one is. I think these are both the same. No, they're two different ones. Ah! This has a picture of a weird guy on the front. It says Sweet Licks and Electric Kicks. I guess that's the name of the place. Let's see what this last one is. This just says games people play and then game token. No money, just a couple tokens. I got to cut a couple strips of wood because we're going to put the bottom together differently than what it was originally. We're going to put it better back together, stronger than it was originally. I got to get my saw out while it's not raining and cut a couple pieces of wood. All right, I'm gonna grab a tape measure real quick. Okay, there's going to be my 2 cleats for each side. What I'm doing is I'm putting cleats around the whole entire thing, rather than just a couple pieces here and there. Actually, I'm going to have to put the bottom in before the cleats, because we have these blocks of wood here that are going to stop it from wanting to go in all the way. So I need to blow this out, and then cut the piece of plywood first. It's actually going to be 2 pieces of plywood because I don't have a full piece long enough. Blow all this garbage out of here. Perfect time to do it. So what's our width here? Now when you make your width, you want to take your width from the bottom edge of the cabinet or the top edge. So this is 20.5, because your cabinet might bow a little bit here, which this is not. But let's say your cabinet's 21 here, okay? And it's 20.5 down there. If you cut it to 21 because you just measured right here, well then all of a sudden it's not going to fit down here, and you're going to be all pissed off and have to recut it. So we're a hair under 20.5. I think we can get away with 20.5. So let me grab a piece of plywood. We'll cut that at 20.5. This thing is just about long enough. I mean, it's just short of being long enough, like a couple inches. Okay, so now that we have that in there, we'll have to cut a little strip for there, which is not bad. So this stuff I get for free. This comes on pallets. When I go to the warehouse to pick up materials, I get to take them. And it works out good for bottoms of cabinets and stuff, because it's freaking pretty nice stuff. And it's free. So I need a little strip here. So we got to go 2 1/4. 2 inches on this side, so it is a little bit crooked. Like I said, guys, we're only gonna be able to do so much with this. One side's 2 1/4 and one side's 2 inches. They could have built the cabinet like that, because honestly the corners and everything are tight. So that'll be fun. The rain's starting again. Just about done. going to kind of eyeball this and see if I can do it. I'm going to set it to 2 1/4. I'm going to cut it on an angle. Let's see how I did. Oh, that's why it's 2 1/4. There's a piece missing. So it actually is a 2-inch square. Okay, so I can just cut it to 2 inches. My fault. Beautiful. And the gap there is because we're missing some plywood. Let me throw this table saw in the van before it starts pouring on it. All right. I got a bigger bottle of glue. Fucking glue's $10 a bottle now. Isn't that crazy? I always use it, so I bought the second biggest bottle. They have a big, like, half-gallon jug, but I don't buy that one because what ends up happening is the tips wear out on the bottle that you're using, and then it's just like, what do you do with the half-gallon? It's kind of hard to refill these bottles if the tips wear out. So what I'm going to do is stick this in here, and I'm going to, since I know that there's blocking down here, okay, that's as far as that goes. I'm going to set a nail right there. And then I'm just going to keep the reveal the same all the way up, which actually it feels like I'm hitting on something again, so that's good. These nails are only 1 1/4 inches. I'm only using brad nails. I'm not using staples because once the glue sets up, the nails aren't really what's holding it. It's the wood glue that's holding it. Cut this one with the multi-tool. Beautiful. Probably just gonna get the woodworking done on this video, and then tomorrow we'll do the body work. I got to get the tanning bed and stuff ready to move to my son's house. So I'm gonna work on that. Okay. Clean this mess up real quick. Get this thing laid down. We got a nice solid bottom now. Okay. So I need to make 2 of these, 10 3/4. Okay, so from the edge of the cabinet to the edge of this is 1 3/4. Okay, now only thing I'm going to worry about is the spacing from here to here. And that's where I'm going to place the other cleat, because this is the most important, which is 9 3/4. We could mount those trays in there afterwards. Now we got a bottom cleat that we need to make. Get my saw back out. And that is 3 inches tall, 22.5 wide. Okay, so I said 3 inches tall. And 22.5? 20.5. Which I still have a piece cut to 20.5. There should be. Right here. Okay, so 3 inches tall. This side I cut crooked. Here's this side. Okay. So I could put a brad through there, a brad through there. I could put one through each side. You're never going to see it. It's a tiny little brad nail. Once that dries, that'll be solid enough. There is a bracket that goes back on there. This guy right here. So that bracket's got to go back on, and I'm going to measure from this edge over. That's where the coin box latches over. I don't know if this stuff's going back on or not, but I'm going to put it on anyway. 6 5/8. So 6 5/8 over. I need a drill. All right, the height of that piece is 6 inches. I know, you can't use 2 hands on a table saw. You're going to kill yourself. So what I'm doing is, since I can't put it back in its place with the tongue and groove, I'm going to put these cleats on the side, and they'll face to the inside. Hopefully they don't get in the way of anything. I don't think they will. So I'm going to put them this way. Just make sure we get it at the same height that it was originally at. Yeah. Okay, so we got that piece back in. We have the bottoms in, that cleat's in right there. We got to put those two brackets back in there. And then I think it's ready for the bodywork part of it. Sticking some glue down here. It's going to seep to the bottom of the cabinet, but maybe some of it'll stay up there. This right here is spongy. Don't really know if there's much I can do about that. I'll let it soak down there for a minute, and I'm going to grab a scrap piece of wood and clamp it to the side for tonight and see if that doesn't take care of the issue. So let me go grab a piece of, or two clamps, and we'll put that in. I'm not putting extreme pressure on it because I don't want to dent the outside of the cabinet. Okay. Let's blow this out and put those brackets in the bottom. They're 1 1/4 over from the cleat. Let me take these off real quick. Maybe. Drill's in the way. Hold on a second. I just spilled all my sockets. Perfect. All right, I gotta find a piece. Okay, I'm just gonna put this 10 inches and 1 1/4 inches over from the edge. Need the keys to open the front door. piece of poop. Oh my God. Always has to be one pain in the ass. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting the wires back, screwing them back to the base, bottom, whatever you want to call it. And that one's gonna fight me, so I'll skip that one for now. I'm gonna finish screwing those in and then I'll be back. Okay, now I'm gonna re-screw down this power brick. I'm actually gonna use some big lag screws. These will work just as good as bolts. It's not gonna go anywhere. That's good and solid. I need one more screw so I can screw down this weird thing right here. Yeah, there's still a little bit of debris in there, but for the most part, it's cleaned up. So we now have a solid base. This piece is solid again. That lower piece is solid again. Everything's back together the way it should be. So now I'm gonna let this dry tonight, and then tomorrow we'll fix that edge. And I'm done with this project. So short, simple, not a lot to it. And it can get put back together and somebody can enjoy it. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll do a quick video on this tomorrow doing the body work, and then it'll be on its way. So thanks everybody. If you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up, any questions or comments, don't forget to ask. If you guys are interested in a t-shirt, make sure you check out the website. I'll put it in the description again. And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys later.